he wants them to be sister wives.
What in the concubine is going on here?
He already said they're getting divorced. Why does she need to meet her? She just looked like she was disgusted to be there. I don't know if she was like saying like, like you left me for her, or if she just like, man, this is embarrassing.
Yeah. You will always be the one for me. Oh yes, you will.
Hey guys, this is Ashley and
Patrice.
And this is commentary from Married at First Sight, Season 12, Episode 7. This episode has been so heavy.
For sure. Very intense. You were saying it looked raw, and you're right. It was very raw.
Yeah, it's so different than the last episode, which was filled with like so much fakeness and the false concern and stuff like that. So this one was like really raw. It was the couples individually with no outside opinions from the other couples, which was good. But this episode really reminded me why I didn't want to be a therapist.
Why you say that?
Because last night I couldn't sleep. I was just sitting there in bed thinking about them. Like that was my fear, like going home, taking my clients'
baggage
problems home into my bed, you know? Like, man, Ryan, he just has some internal conflict that he really needs to deal with. Paige, she just... We'll get into Paige in a minute.
Yeah, maybe several minutes. So, we've got Virginia and Eric. Let's give it up.
Yay.
As Tashara stated in the last video, King and Queen Clown. But, as you were saying about Eric.
His clown nose has shrunk. I think he's sobered up.
Yes.
Reality's kicking in. He's not morphing into Virginia any longer.
Right.
He's morphing back into his conservative Southern self. It was like When in Rome type of thing, you know, When in Vegas.
He was saying that they had to compromise. She was like, I like my space. My job will provide that for you. You won't have no issue with that.
That's so crazy. I need days off of marriage. I need some days where I'm married and some days where I'm not. Her view of marriage is so unrealistic. She really doesn't want to be married. I feel like she grew up seeing dysfunction. So organization, structure, boundaries, restrictions is foreign to her. I don't think she's ever seen that. She mentioned how her dad was in and out the house. Who knows how her mom reacted to that situation? Why she thinks that dysfunction is normal and should be accepted. I wonder how she really grew up.
You know, it's funny you brought that up because I'm like, there's gotta be a reason why she thinks this is okay.
Mm-hmm.
She probably saw, like you said, dysfunction.
Do you think that maybe when her dad left, her mom drank a lot and became an alcoholic?
Maybe.
And maybe so she just thought that that's what she's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. To just numb it or push it to the back. And I could tell on Eric's face, he's kind of like, is she serious? I kind of put my guard down a little bit in Vegas, but now that they're back to normal, you could tell he's like, I hope that she don't continue thinking like that.
Yeah. But let's get into the houses. So Virginia has more of a quaint apartment filled with pictures and good times. Not a whole lot of space. I mean, big enough for a person, of course, comfortably. Then Eric has this big apartment, I guess. And he seemed very proud of his place. You could tell he was excited for Virginia to see. He thought that Virginia would be like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. But she was really just negative. Like, that's nice. You know, he put on his electric fireplace and he was like, it looks really good at night. And she was like, there's no pictures on the wall. Maybe you should sell this so we can start over. It was a little rude, but I think that as long as you got a nice couch that she can crash on, that's all she cares about.
He was doing that nervous laugh. You know that laugh where you're like,
He's ignoring the red flags. She's showing him that she doesn't like stability.
For now. Oh, you want to talk about Pastor Calvin? What did he say?
Oh, yeah. So Pastor Calvin, he comes, and I'm just like, thank God. Seriously, we were all like, where is Pastor Calvin? But then again, the experts don't come in during the honeymoon in the other seasons, but because you're supposed to be having fun, you're supposed to be getting to know each other.
Oh, okay.
So it's like once reality sets in, that's when they start counseling. But we were just like, where are they? Code Red, Chris. He came in this episode and he really spit some truth, which they needed to hear. Professional outside opinion.
Yes.
Yeah. You can tell Eric was very happy to have Pastor Cal because he was kind of reinforcing the things he was telling to Virginia. But I don't think she was really receiving it well.
It was like it just rolled off.
Yeah, so I feel like all the couples kind of were like treating Pastor Carol like, Dad, he did this,
Yeah.
like telling on each other and trying to get him on their side. And I feel like he was like, well, that's true. That's true.
But
that's true. Yeah. Virginia's like, yeah, sometimes I crash at my homeboy's house on their couch when I'm drunk. They're like my gay best friends, but they're not gay. Pascal's just like, what?
Are you serious?
I'm not controlling, but I would not be okay with my wife doing that.
You know how kids, they just want to have fun all the time and play?
Mm-hmm.
They don't see danger. That's what I was getting from her. She don't see the danger of what she's doing.
No, she grew up in dysfunction and that's her norm.
Can that be reversed if she were to go to therapy, maybe?
She'd have to want it to be reversed.
True.
I don't think she does. I hate to say that, kid would solve things, but I think if she were to get pregnant and she knew that she could not drink, I think that would be a first step. Because I think she has to get to a point where she cannot drink.
Yes.
And I think the only reason why she wouldn't would be if she was to be pregnant. I'm not saying Virginia get pregnant. Please don't, girl. What I'm saying is I don't think anyone can convince her or encourage her not to drink. I think that it would have to be she absolutely cannot.
Imagine 9 months you cannot eat and drink whatever you want.
But she might substitute drinking with something else. That's why I'm like, don't do it, girl.
You got a good point there.
But I think stopping the drinking would be a first step for her. Well, actually, realizing there was a problem, first step. Stop the drinking, second step. And then continue working.
But let's see if she even makes it that far with him.
I don't know. I think his mom's gonna slap some sense into him. And Martha Stewart.
She gives me Martha Stewart vibes.
Evil Martha Stewart?
Yeah.
Okay.
With some salt. She don't play. Hey, salt, get it, she cooks. Sorry. Never mind. It was an inside joke. Cut that out.
I think there's enough of them too. That's
yeah,
it, right?
He pretty much went into it pretty good. So, next, Clara and Ryan. Whoop, whoop, whoop. The most normal couple out of all of them compared to the issues that are going on right now. Would you say?
I mean, with what we're working with, sure.
Well, they talk about how she goes to bed late and he goes to bed 10 to 10:30. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I don't know if I'm feeling that.
Yeah, I think they're trying to find things to, be like, oh, about. But it's like, that's an easy compromise. Push your bedtime back 2 hours, extend his an hour. Y'all be good. That's normal things to compromise with each other. My first red flag kind of with Ryan, I think this whole season I don't know, I haven't really been feeling Ryan since the first episode, so I kind of steer away from Ryan. Mm-hmm. He made a comment that was kind of off-putting to me, so I just was like reserving my opinion on him. In the first episode where he was saying when he was growing up, he hung around a lot of white people, which changed his view. He made it almost seem as though he became woke from Black culture, as if being like his white peers was somehow better than what he's used to or better than his family dynamic.
Now that you mention it, I haven't really noticed, well, at least they haven't shown it on the show, that he really connects to that.
No, I mean, him and his brother are like polar opposites. And in the first episode, I thought that maybe they were half brothers or step brother or something. They are brothers. But they're so different. They grew up in the same household, but his brother embraces his Black culture. Mm-hmm. But Ryan is he's almost trying to look like something that he's not. Like there's some kind of internal conflict there. Identity crisis. See, he perms his hair.
He perms his hair, right? I thought he was ambiguous. He ain't.
What? He's Black. Ryan's Black.
Like fully.
His dad is Creole. I don't know exactly what that includes. He's not white. And his mom is Black.
That's news to me.
You thought that his hair grew like that?
I thought it was gel.
Did you see his brother's hair?
No, I don't remember. Mm-hmm. It's crazy you say that though, because I don't see any kind of culture with him. He
said that growing up with his white friends, it made him see things differently, as if this was so much better. A better life, a whole new world. When Clara went to his house, the first thing she said, wow, it looks really nice in here. But then she started going in the cabinets. And his cabinets was like broken.
It's like leaning.
It was leaning and he was still putting stuff in it. And all his cabinets were disorganized. His drawers the clothes were just all thrown all in there. No organization at all.
No.
So it's like on the outside, everything looks well put together.
Yes.
But on the inside, it's all messed up and disorganized. And I feel like that was kind of like a reflection of Ryan. I feel like on the outside, he tries to go poised, like he got everything together.
Everything in same sequence.
Exactly. But if you look inside, you see confusion. Chaos. Disorganization. Does this even go here? And I think that's kind of like Ryan. Like, on the outside, he's like, yeah, like, I stayed out people's business and I got it all together. I'm organized. I'm scheduled. But I think inwardly, he doesn't really know who he is. I think that's why it's so hard for him to say, I love you. Because how can you love somebody if you don't understand who you are?
Okay, Dr. Ashley. Wow, okay. I think we need to get her on the panel on the show.
Girl.
Shoot. So, okay. Are they your favorite couple now? Because I think you mentioned you like them more than before.
Oh, the reason why I said that was, remember? When they was on the couch?
Yo! I can't really talk because I need to get mine done.
I looked at them differently. Because Clara had put her legs on Ryan, right? And he was like rubbing her ankle, rubbing her leg. And then the camera zooms into her heel.
They wrong for that.
And they was crusty. And I'm not hating on her. Because listen, I've been there. I'll be honest, I've been there. Matter of fact, I'm probably there right now. I'm probably gonna cut that part out. It's real. Las Vegas be hot. You know, it's not humid. It's dry. I get it. Your feet, the moisture was gone. But I feel like that's like a vulnerability. And the fact that he was fine with touching her, even though her feet were like that, I feel like that is a form of love.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
He didn't even say anything.
Right. And she felt comfortable to do that. For example, if Paige was to put her feet on Chris and they was looking like that, he'd be like,
Paige, get your feet off me.
Get your crusty. Like, he would be like, mm-mm. And it reminded me of, like, my relationship. Like, you know, my feet be looking like, woo, sometimes. He acts like there's nothing. He just massages them, put lotion on, he fine. Do you not see that?
See what, babe?
The crest.
What crest?
Right there. You see that?
Babe, it's fine. I love you.
And I'm like, but that's love.
And remember, am I fast forwarding too much? Remember Pastor Ryan? He was
Pastor Ryan.
Not Pastor. Oh, sorry. Maybe I'm
speak that. Which is not as though it is. Yes. We're speaking that over you, Ryan.
I mean, Pastor Cal. Pastor Cal, he said, I know you mentioned that you've never said the L word, love. Meanwhile, he pointed out you're showing traits of it, even though you may not have you don't feel it.
Right. So you can tell that Pastor Cal read Sacred Marriage, that book, because he said something. He asked Ryan, how do you know when you are in love? He said, when I have that unexplainable feeling. And Pastor Cal was just like, you know, love is not a feeling. Mm-hmm. Love is a decision. If he goes by thinking that love is a feeling, then it's like, what happens to the days where you don't have that feeling? When you have bad feelings, you're going to think you're out of love. That's why it's important to know that love is a conscious decision that you make every single day. Feelings come and go. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're sad. But that decision is going to be what keeps you in your marriage during the tough times. Because you know that you have the power to stay.
So he's on the right track, I think. Like you
said. He is. He just really needs to stop being so selfish and as if he has all the answers, because I don't think he does. I think Ryan thinks he has the formula. That's why he's like, we're not going to have sex until this time. You need to be quiet, as if he has all the answers. And you could tell Clara, she was very reserved. You can tell very tight-lipped in a way.
Yes.
And you could tell she was holding a whole lot.
I'm not used to that.
Mm-hmm. And probably in her head, she was just probably screaming inwardly. But she was trying to be poised and be like, yeah, you know, we're doing okay. But you could tell she wanted to just be like, Pastor Cal, I am sexually frustrated. The tortoise speed, I can't with it. Ryan wants me to be like this. I think they need to meet in the middle. I think she should watch what she says as far as, you know, getting in other people's business, being rude, but be yourself.
Yeah, like, hopefully she doesn't feel like she needs to change who she is.
You have to change who you are, but just watch what you say as far, like I said, as far as being in people's business. Like, you don't have to be in other people's business. Like, when she confronted Chris with Virginia, she didn't have to do that.
No.
She could have still been there for Paige by just being over there where Paige is at. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't fight for her marriage harder than she fights for it herself. Just be a good friend to her and worry about your husband. Next couple.
Haley and Jacob. Do you remember the last episode they kind of left off where she went down to hang out with the ladies and kind of said she's going to hang out with the couples? Do you remember that part?
She said she was going to hang out with the ladies, but all the couples were there.
All the couples were there. So I feel like it carried over into this episode.
Mm-hmm. Which she doesn't even admit to.
No.
She doesn't even talk about it. Every time he kind of brings it up, she changes the subject. Mm-hmm. Well, you called me a liar. At the beginning of the episode, she did like a selfie video where she was like, yeah, I'm at the airport right now. Mm-hmm. And last night I had a drink with the girls and I texted Jacob and he accused me of having a boyfriend back home. Oh my gosh, I'm appalled. But she does not mention anything she does.
Like you said earlier, she's just not attracted to him.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense she's magnifying everything else. But the root of the problem.
She's trying to make it as though, oh, you accuse me of having someone back home. I just can't deal with this. And it's like, it's easy to point to him and say what he did as opposed to look within yourself and say, hey, I did some pretty trash things. I get it. It is disrespectful to be accused of having someone else. That is disrespectful. Yeah. However, she knows why he accused her of that. Because she went from being receptive to him and trying to get to know him, trying to make this thing work, to just suddenly cutting him off. And anyone would be concerned about that. Anyone would think there's something going on. There must be someone else that has your affection and your attention, because it's not me. You know what you did to make him say that. Instead of saying, you called me a liar, how about you just tell him why you have been retracting or keeping to yourself?
Right.
And that's why I just can't with Haley. I think the minute someone younger and attractive hits on her, I think she's out the door.
You think she would cheat on him?
Oh yeah.
You can't go against your own feelings if you're not attracted. If she's not attracted, like, why stay and put him through that turmoil?
I think at times she sees like a glimmer of attraction. When they sat down with Pastor Cal, he had on the white shirt.
He looked nice.
He looked decent. I think at those moments she's like, okay, maybe. But then, he brings out the fanny packs and
the neon lights.
The neon. She really hates neon. And it's... Yeah. Why does she hate it so much? I wonder. But anyways, I probably would hate it too.
You know what I think's hilarious? You remember in the closet, he pulled out his members only jacket. She's like, what's members only?
What is it?
Okay, I think there was like a season or a period in the 80s where members only was the thing. And it's kind of like a little, I don't want to say clique, but if you had it, you were cool.
But I think Haley's always the one who was very, I don't even know the word, picky. She's probably looking for perfection, but she's not going to find it, especially because she's not perfect herself. She thinks she knows what she wants. If she gets what she thinks she wants, the same thing's going to happen that happened to her in 21. Wow. I think she wants a guy who's really going to hurt her.
She wants a bad boy?
She wants a bad boy jock.
Jock at, what, almost 30? Like, really?
But I think her mind is still stuck in that 15 to 21-year-old relationship. I don't think she's as mature as she likes to pretend to be. I think she's a really good pretender.
He wants to be set.
Who, Jacob? We still talking about them?
I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Let's cut it. Ain't that interesting.
Ugh.
Brianna and Vincent.
Yay.
Yes. I'm rooting for them, right? I like them until I saw this episode. It did come off a little like, okay, y'all not talking about what you really have problems with. Y'all just saying you guys are perfect for each other.
Yeah. I mean, understandably, they just got married, honeymoon. You're on your best behavior at the honeymoon. But, I could tell even before the issues arise that their differences in opinion and differences in worldview are going to clash.
So, she was basically saying in this part that she picks up his things, if he leaves them out.
On the honeymoon.
Yeah, and she doesn't mind because that's just how she is anyway.
Let's talk about their houses.
Houses. Yeah.
So Vincent went to Brianna's house first, and he said like the first thing he noticed was like her TV was leaning. She had that Smooth Criminal TV.
Yeah, Smooth Criminal.
To be honest, if that was me, I'd just be cracking up. But I think that she was kind of like laughing it off, but I think it kind of bothered her a little to have something out of place.
Yes, because she likes to control.
Exactly. So for her to have something kind of crooked, I think it kind of, especially for it to be seen on TV, it kind of made her a little embarrassed. I think that she wants to seem like perfection, and she really wants to point out his imperfections. Like, I feel like she was going around the house like a health inspector, looking for something she can point at. I wouldn't want to work for her because she seems like a micromanager helicopter.
You remember Deliver Us from Evil? Clean it up!
I remember that movie. I don't remember that.
Yes, she was like
Gabrielle?
that. Yes. I would say that's the perfect comparison.
You know what? That is a good comparison.
Clean it up.
Her and Gabrielle Union?
Yeah. Now that I saw this episode, yeah.
Wow. Hold on. I'm thinking about it. Yep.
Yeah, she had her guard up very high. Sometimes he was like, I don't know if I want to even bother with this no more.
Yeah, she thrives off of telling people what to do, and it's really uncomfortable to watch. Yeah. Even with the closet was like, whoa, all the shoes and stuff like that. And so he went in there to help her, take some things out, and she was doing that annoying baby voice, which I hate. She was handing him shoes to take, and he was like, have you ever thought of donating some of these? And the look she gave him. Right. And he's like, no, just kidding. But I don't think he was kidding, because if you remember on the first episode when Pastor Cal went to Vincent's house, he showed him his shoes, and he said, I had more shoes than this, but I gave some to like a homeless guy.
Yeah. He's kind.
Yeah, he didn't have any shoes, so I wanted to make sure he had some shoes. And she was just like, excuse me? I think that's a part of Vincent. I think that he likes to give to others. He doesn't want to have too much because there's people out there who doesn't have anything at all.
Yeah, I think he experienced that when he was growing up.
Yeah, and I think that maybe that would have been a good opportunity for him to share that with her, that is his heart. Because if not, then she's going to go on and being kind of the surplusness that she has. She's going to keep doing it and not feel any kind of way, because she doesn't know that Vincent is kind of like charitable like that.
Yeah, minimalist.
Yeah, I think he should have shared that with her, so that she doesn't go ahead looking super materialistic.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a very good one.
Yeah, because if he doesn't mention it, it's gonna bother him, and then one day he's just gonna call her materialistic, and she's gonna be like, "What are you talking about?" As opposed to just letting her know.
So Pastor Cal comes, and he pretty much asks them, like, what is your favorite thing about each other? And she said that she loves that Vincent is kind. She said that she loves that he's driven, ambitious.
She said that?
Mm-hmm. And then also he said that she compliments him very well, and that she completes him. And Pastor Cal was like, whoa, how does that make you feel to hear that? And then Vincent said that he wants to spend the rest of his life with her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's pretty big to say.
I didn't hear the ambitious part. The only thing I heard her say that she likes that he's nice and that she can be herself around him. Yeah. And I that was a red flag to me, because she hasn't seen the mad side of any. No. So how is she gonna feel when he's not so nice? Not only that, but she keeps saying that she's glad that he accepts her for who she is. Thing is, there's things about her that he doesn't like, and he feels like she should change. So I think just the thought that she doesn't have to change anything can get her into trouble.
It's already starting to.
So then Vincent kind of started cracking a little bit.
His cheeks was red. I'm like, hold up, he got something to say.
Yeah, he's like, well, you're very assertive, and you're doing great, but I just like respect. He was being very vague. He doesn't go straight forward. He goes around. Yeah, and just like you could tell he doesn't like the things she says. Well, rather, the way she says it, because that's what he said. It's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. And she's like, okay.
And then, you remember how basically she was like, I don't want anyone to feel like I'm being rude. Even though he said what he don't like, her rebuttal was, I don't mean for anyone to feel that way, meaning this is me, take it or leave it.
He doesn't want to go off on her. He doesn't want to get heated. And he's like, you know what I'm saying? And Pascal's like, no, I don't. I care about her and I don't want to say the wrong thing. And Pascal was just like, listen, you're going to say the wrong thing. You guys are human.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Words are going to be said. Feelings are going to be hurt. You can't just live in this perfect bubble where nothing ever goes wrong. So you need to understand each other's heart, know where each other is coming from. So on those days where it's not so good, you know who that person is and you know they did this or they said this because of this.
Yeah.
Brianna says some really nasty things and she doesn't realize that they're nasty.
Basically, they get to his house, or to the place that they're moving in together, my bad. And he has, champagne Vinny, eh? So he pops it open and then it spills over like a waterfall. And she's like, oh man. And then she cleans it up. And pretty much he was like, oh, I'm sorry. And then he noticed that he got it on his shirt.
Yeah, he's like, man, it's all good. Like, he was trying to you could tell he was embarrassed, but he was just trying to be like, it's cool.
She said, oh, that's so Vinny of you. That's so Vincent of you.
You just turned his name into a verb. And it wasn't a positive verb. That was so Vincent of you. What is that supposed to mean? And you can tell that he was offended by it, but he didn't really want to say anything because the camera was there. And he said to her, this has never happened before. I think he's so used to,
being, smooth
for him to kind of have a mishap and something that wasn't so smooth.
Yeah.
And she didn't cover for him. She wasn't like, it's okay, babe. We got this.
It's the first time for everything.
Yeah, she's like, it's the first time for everything. And she didn't have his back at that moment. She wasn't trying to cover up for him. It's good, babe. Make him look good. It's she was trying to make him look bad about the situation. He's clumsy or a little slow. So she could tell he was pulling back. So they went into the bathroom and she was just like, what's wrong? I'm tired of you. The things that you say, it's messed up. Are you serious? And then he confronted her.
Pretty much he was like, I'm tired of you making those smart comments. And she's like, what smart comments? I don't know what you're talking about. And then he had to refresh her memory. And she's like, I joke around like that all the time, but I'm not trying to make you feel any kind of way or make you feel bad. And he was like, you're belittling me, and he hates it, basically. And what's up with you saying that's so Vincent of you? Are you trying to say that I'm an idiot or I'm unintelligent?
That was real.
And I got the same vibe too. I was like, what does she mean? And she's like, no, I would never call you that. I would never call anybody an idiot. Pretty much she was like, I don't want to talk about it no more. And he was like, okay. And you know what happened.
Yeah, but the way he was kind of sitting like that, when it happened, you said that was so Vincent. The way he was talking, it seemed as though he was regressing in a way. He was going back. It was very childlike.
Yes.
And we've said before that he seems very childlike. He likes silly things and stuff like that, which is cool. But I don't know. I think that brought him back to a place. Maybe in his childhood, perhaps, maybe he wasn't the best reader or the best at math or the best writer. Maybe he was teased or something because it really hurt him. And she mentioned that he's a little sensitive, which he is sensitive, but it feels like it almost brought him back to a place of when he was younger. Maybe the kids teased him about his schoolwork or his grades or something like that. Him feeling as though she's calling him slow or an idiot, it triggered him.
Yeah, for sure. I see it.
Yeah. He had that bad pack. He was out the door talking about I'm going home. And Brianna's like, but this is our home, so where are you going?
Yeah, that was concerning.
It is. Where is he going? And what does he do at times of anger like this? But I think the way that sometimes he expresses himself, it's very limited. Yeah.
He don't know what to say or how to say it.
Yeah. So I think that Brianna picks up on that.
Now, I guess the question is she willing to catch herself before she does say something like this again?
She needs an awakening.
Hopefully this is the awakening she needs by him leaving.
Yeah.
So, Paige and Chris. Oh man, might as well just say Paige because she was by herself. So Paige. um. So Paige moved into the shared space alone, which I was like, that's so messed up. Why they have her going in there by herself? Where was Chris?
Chicago.
He needed to get away. He always getting away.
He went to be with the ex. In this episode, well, not the whole episode, but at that point when she moved in by herself, oh my gosh, I felt like it was me. I feel like I've been there before. I haven't, but I don't know. I don't know if it was just empathy, putting myself in her shoes, but I felt like it was me. And she was like, maybe while he's in Chicago, he's going to self-reflect on our relationship and our commitment to one another. Do you know who you're talking about?
She was like, she's letting him process things.
Girl, he was not processing nothing. He was inserting it. He was having sex. He was on his knees begging his ex to take him back. Saying, she's ugly. I don't want to be with her. Please take me back, please.
You don't know what he want. He really don't. Like, you left her, then you go and get on a show. Now you want to go back to her. He's like a ping pong ball.
I'm so mad.
All over the place.
I'm so mad. I was so mad. You saw me. I was turning red. I was turning red watching
I was like, are you alright? Your whole face turning red.
Oh my gosh. Oof. He is a master manipulator. We're watching it, so we're like, man, his little tactics are dumb. But I don't know. I don't think Paige is slow. I don't think she's stupid. I think that his manipulation is on level 10.
He has her wrapped around his finger.
Not only that, but the ex actually wants to be with him after he apparently secretly got married, and she still wants him. Not only that, but you know, like I said before, I don't like talking about stuff that's outside of the show, but I need to mention this. So I saw a YouTube video that I seen it years ago, but I didn't know that this person was talking about Chris.
Oh.
So there's a video on YouTube of one of Chris's ex, not the last one that's on the next episode, but a previous ex who he was previously engaged to. So he was engaged to more than one woman.
Wait, I didn't know that part.
Yeah, they were engaged. I don't know. I think that she was the reason why he even came to Atlanta. This one.
Oh.
But okay, but that's besides the point. When she was kind of talking about their relationship, she was very vague. Long story short, she's kind of like, you know, everything just kind of went left. But, you know, at the end of the day, he's a really nice guy. And the way she said it is almost as if she was cleaning up for him. Like cleaning, like sweeping up his mess and kind of like, he's a nice guy at the end of the day. And that's the same thing Paige does. So there's something that he does where he's like just a venom spewing trash person, but somehow he leaves them with the impression that he is a good guy with good intentions, and he's not. So I just want to know what it is. I don't know if it's something sexual, what it is, but there is something that he uses to lure them and whisper in their ear like a little demon snake. All he does is whisper a few sweet nothings, and like they're charmed and like, yeah, he's great. It seems like a witchcraft.
Yeah, it's like a spell. Like he puts a spell on you.
Yeah. He definitely gives me warlock.
Yeah, you see that suit? Them suits.
Well, I'm not talking about the guy's clothes. I'm talking about the way he charms women.
Yeah, it's almost like very spiritual.
It is.
I don't want to go that way, but I'll just say it. It's spiritual.
Girl, it is. He gives me warlock.
So if he can get someone as intelligent and like smart and wise as Paige, and you know she somehow lets her guard down to it, that means he's very good at what he does. Very good at it. Or they have doors open that makes them susceptible to receive what he's spewing at them. Because if you have your gates guarded, if you know who you are, if you know your authority, then his charms, his witchcraft, his spells aren't going to be able to take you down. And being that Paige is like, she's wounded right now, like she's emotionally hurt, she's vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she's susceptible.
Her gate is not guarded at all. Yeah. So any attacks that hit her kingdom are just going to go right through because she has her guards down. And so when he goes and whispers in the ear, hey, Phil, Mama, let me whisper in the ear. She's just like... So,
he wants a divorce, basically. You didn't get to that part?
Wait, not yet. Tashara was right.
Yes! She was right.
Yes, we had no idea. That phone call, we thought it was the ex. F him, F that B. We're like, that does not sound like Paige. Paige dropped the psychedelic hippie.
Yeah.
The stars.
The stars have aligned.
They're aligning. Infinity. She dropped it.
I knew it was in there.
I'm done. Paige.
I remember I told you, I feel like if she gets hurt, she's gonna snap. It's there.
Yeah, but it didn't even sound like her. Not just the thing she was saying. That didn't sound like anything like her, but the voice. She went from like, yeah, to like,
she's been hurt over and over for the past week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bomb now.
It's understandable. I think that she was putting on a facade this whole time.
Really?
Like this, like, if I just be good enough, if I be a good enough submissive woman, then maybe he'll come around. Then we see she has this whole different side that she hasn't unleashed upon him. Instead, she's unleashing it upon the producer. So you let him get away with all this crap, and now you're gonna vent to someone else when you feel like the cameras aren't on you. She thought that being there for him, being that ride or die, was a good thing and was a good look for her. But it really wasn't. When you don't respect yourself and you let a guy just get what he wants from you and not get anything in return, what do they need to be there for? What do they need to stick around for?
They just take and leave.
They'll take and leave. Dine and dash, in a way. So Pastor Cal came, saw her, was like, Paige, my love. Paige, you're so lovely.
Yeah.
Yes. And you were saying it gave you Chris's dad vibes?
Yeah, but in a more very modest and respectable way. Not like, ooh, I'll take you right off his hands kind of way.
No, Pastor Cal, he got a woman at home. He's a
good man. I love him.
You can tell that he was trying to build up her self-esteem a little bit, because I'm sure he's heard what Chris has been doing. Although he did seem as though he heard it for the first time, I'm sure he didn't. I'm sure he knew. I think that he asked some good questions. I think that he gave some good advice. I think that the conversation was a good one and very therapeutic for her.
Yeah.
I think it should have happened sooner, considering the situation, because Chris has been the whole time tearing her down. I think that she should have had counsel sooner.
Yes.
For her mental health. I know there's a process going on and you guys do things a certain way, but Paige needed that. And so she kind of spills what's been going on.
So basically she tells him, hey, he did it the first night, right? They got married. He didn't find her attractive, and she pretty much was filling him in on all the episodes, in a nutshell, that they've been intimate pretty much almost every day except for a few days, she mentioned. And he was like, really? And then he's like, did you protect yourself? And she's like, no. And he's like, Paige, why?
Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, his dad said that he wants a honeymoon babies.
And she was laughing, but Pastor was not laughing, though.
Mm-mm.
He's like, how do you know you're not,
And she's like,
yourself?
I'm on my period, which is TMI. You could have said, no, I made sure.
Yeah.
But,
thank God she's not.
Yeah, and when she brought up that he got his ex-fiance pregnant, she's 6 weeks, he was like, so that means he was having sex with her during this process. She said that he said, oh, her dad died and he needed to comfort her by inserting himself into her. And Pastor Cal was just like, yeah, I'm a pastor, but that's BS. That is trash.
He seems very shocked that Chris would even come on there and do that. Part of what he feels is maybe they wish they kind of saw that he was like this before they picked him, because it's a hot mess. Yeah,
I think that he's very embarrassed. When you're doing this, you're kind of endorsing the person. For example, let's say if you get someone a job, and then they start acting up, it's embarrassing because I suggested that you hire this person and they're coming up late, they're being disrespectful, they're not doing their job well. That's a bad reflection on you. So that's a bad reflection on Pastor Cal, Dr. Pepper, Viviana. We're experts and we recommended you two to get married, and this is what's happening to you.
And she got hurt really bad in the process.
He's making Pastor Cal look bad. Yeah. And then of course Chris was late.
And then he's like, hey Paige, how are you? Like, why would you even ask her, how are you? You just spit in her face again.
Ooh, and he was just so callous. Pastor Cal was just like, so what's been going on? And he's just like, my ex is pregnant, gotta go. You continue to have sex with her, even though you're not attracted to her. You're not attracted to anything but sex with her. And he starts smiling.
Yeah. Like, he found it funny, and I was just so irritated.
It came off as, I didn't find that attractive. I wasn't attracted to her sexually either. I'm not going to say nothing because I don't want to disrespect her. It almost as if he's saying that she's the one who wanted to have sex, and he really didn't.
Oh. I did not catch that.
Mm-hmm. We thought that he was the one who was just kind of like, it'll bring us together. No, I think she really thought that sex between them was going to bring them together. That's why she continued doing it.
Wow, because there's nothing else to hang on to.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, if that's what you're hanging on to, you can get sex anywhere. Anywhere.
Wow. Yeah, exactly.
You need something substantial to hold on to. Something you can't get just anywhere. And then Pastor Cal was just like, you know what? I usually fight tooth and nail for couples. This one, no. I'm not fighting for this. And then they're just looking at each other. Paige is just like,
I want to know, do you remember how she was on the phone? F that, blah, blah, blah.
mm-hmm.
And then all of that just simmered down. She's back to her calm, serene. He just has that effect, I guess. You remember how he was like, please don't hate me, and I wouldn't be surprised if you did. And I'm like, fool.
That triggered me.
Yo.
Ooh, that triggered me.
What if she smacked him?
Not even that. I connect with Paige in a way because I've been a Paige. Not to the same extent. She's Paige in a point where... now I'm turning Paige into a verb. Sorry, Paige. The whole thing with Chris, she looked at it as though I'm doing my duty. I'm doing my duty by submitting to you. This is God's will.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in a relationship similar to their relationship, I knew this was not God's will for me. I knew I was doing something outside of God's will. But she convinced herself that God's putting her through this. Like, this is long suffering. It's going to produce endurance and perseverance. And they're going to be stronger after this. So she just went in this thinking that it was done to her rather than she kind of consented to it. I know that when I have a trash relationship, I've consented to the mess. I've consented to the trash. And I need to get out. But I'm just not, because maybe I'm not feeling too good about myself right now. So I'm just going to let people treat me the way I feel about myself at the moment. So I've been there. I've had a relationship very similar to theirs. And I remember at the end of it, after I just kind of was like, I'm done and moving on. When I move on, I remember that person coming around. I've been thinking about a relationship. I really don't want you to hate me. And can you forgive me? She doesn't owe him that. Mm-hmm. The thing is, that takes a burden off of them because they get to leave getting everything that they want. They get to leave. They took from you. They're doing what they want to do. Oh, and can you please wipe off the debt of you being upset with me? If you do that, that'll make everything perfect. If you can get this guilt off of me. I got a little bit of guilt right there. Just a little bit. Like that much. I got a little bit. If you can please get that off of me right quick, like, I really appreciate it. And then she's like, I can't be mad at you.
And she's smiling.
Oh, girl. They're looking at each other, smiling, smizing at each other. And then he whispers in her ear. The smile on her face. What is he saying to her?
I don't know. What the heck is he telling her?
Right. Oh, that's how I knew that that I believed he's a warlock.
Cause like, how does someone's words just take away what they just did?
Girl, all defense is gone.
Yeah. And she said that he told her he's afraid to fall in love with her.
You mean you're afraid to fall in love with me? That's the sweetest thing anyone's ever said to me.
It was awkward after that, though.
It was just weird. And then he was like, yeah, mm-hmm. So you got my luggage? She's like, yeah, it's in my car. All right, cool, let's go get it. They're walking to the car, and she gets his luggage, which I wonder why. Yeah. No, because she probably picked him up from the airport. Yeah, so they're just standing there. Like, he gets his luggage. They're just standing there. You could tell she's waiting for something.
Yeah.
He's just like, okay.
Like, I'm sorry.
Like no, he's just like, so Now what? Like, I'm finna go. And she's just sitting there looking at him like, you forgetting something?
Yeah.
Like, you remember what you just whispered in my ear? Like,
Mm-hmm. I'm like, are they gonna stay together?
You could tell he was ready to go. I think that honestly, she was thinking that they would have sex at least one more time.
Really?
I think that she was hoping that they could have some kind of makeup sex. She was waiting for something.
Yeah. I was like,
yeah.
Is she gonna wait like for him to hug her, kiss her
or
goodbye?
Yeah, or like kiss her, then they look at each other's eyes, and then they go back upstairs, type of thing. When she saw nothing was happening, I'm just gonna walk off now. And he's like, yeah, all right.
It was awkward.
Right, and then she walks towards like the elevator and turns back around, and she sees that he drives off, unfazed.
So the preview of them, he basically calls her and he's like, I want us to meet him, the ex, and Paige. And I'm just like, where she came from, where the ex came from in this. Why is she even on this show?
Why? You've already said that the best thing for you two to do is to divorce. Why does she need to speak and meet with the ex? I think it's because one of two things. I think either he's like, I need you to meet my ex so that you know why I chose her over you.
Oh, that's narcissism at its finest.
Oh yeah, like, I need you to see why I made this decision, because I think that you think that you're like the best thing since sliced bread. I need you to see what I was working with before you, which is totally nasty. Either that, or maybe he came on the show because he wanted fame. Probably he wanted to give her a little spotlight too. Like,
right.
Meet my beautiful ex-fiance, baby mama. Like, look at her. Isn't she beautiful? Or he wants them to be sister wives.
What in the concubine is going on here? Sorry.
He already said they're getting divorced. Why does she need to meet her? Yeah, and the look on the girl's face. You remember in the preview, she just looked like she was disgusted to be there. I don't know if she was like saying like, ugh, like you left me for her, or if she just like, man, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta hear what she has to say.
I wonder what he said to convince her to even do that. Because who would do that? Unless
she wants the camera time.
Or the
if
money.
She's anything like Chris, I don't know, but I can't fathom why this is necessary.
Or do you think the producers are like, you know what?
I was just thinking that.
Why don't we just have her on here?
The producers are freaking out probably because I feel like they know that Chris and Paige is what, is going to be the moneymaker this season. So it's like, I need you guys to somehow still be involved with the show.
Because they're done at this point.
Mm-hmm. So who knows what if they migrated from Chris and Paige to Chris and the ex and continue filming them. Oh man, that'd be so messed up.
That is wrong though. Like, can you imagine signing up to find love, and then now the episode is about the jerk who broke your heart and his ex? And I wouldn't even want to watch.
But I'm just gonna listen to Pastor Cal because they're like, listen, the season is not over. The season's not over. So I'm guessing there's gonna be some kind of redemption for Paige. So I'm just gonna hold off until then because I trust Pastor Cal.
If one of us are getting married, we could have him. You think he would do it?
Officiate? Oh man,
that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Just
either that or if he'd be like my marriage counselor.
Word, that would be dope. Pastor Cal, how much you charge? I just want to know.
He probably doesn't even charge. He's a good man.
Yeah, we don't even live in that area though.
No, but he can fly out. He can get flued out.
How are we ending this?
So I can't wait until Tashara watches the episode.
Yes.
I need to hear what she's gonna say. She's gonna be triggered.
I'm trigged. Trigged.
Oh man, I wonder what she's gonna say.
I want to know too. I want to know.
Joe?
Yeah.
Sing.
What? I don't want to sing Joe at the end of this.
Sing something.
Why?
No.
Tell them that it's human nature. Why? Sing anything?
Yeah.
Let's see. I believe in you and me. I believe that we will be in love eternally. But as far as I can see, you will always be the one for me. Oh, yes, you will. I'm gonna stop there.
Until next time.
Till next time.